previously he's always said that he'll see it through. So I don't think anyone expected this.
Was a guy wearing a Germany jacket and saying that he's shocked about Jurgen Klopp? No, he's parting from inside.
As a manager, what he's achieved at Liverpool is nothing short of phenomenal.
It's definitely going to be a huge transition for them
Gosh.
with a manager leaving after 9 years. My pick would definitely be Steven Gerrard. I think he'd do a fantastic job at Anfield. I think he's doing wonders at the Saudi club he is at.
Another younger guy who will be on the market is Nagelsmann.
Alonso,
It's a no-brainer,
Nagelsmann.
man. I mean, it's gonna be Roy Hodgson. They're down and out in 8th place. They're not performing well. The manager is under pressure, and you go out and pull off such a stunt. It's highly irresponsible from him.
what I want to see from Ineos is you make a big statement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You sell a key player. You sell someone that makes the whole squad go, wow. I am not, scared to say it that I don't care if he's sold. Welcome back to the Full-Time Ultras, and a lot of things happened this week that we're here to cover. Jurgen Klopp announcing that he's going to step down as Liverpool manager. There's a whole new controversy that's happened at Manchester United. This time it's Marcus Rashford. So a lot of topics to discuss. We're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about Klopp. We're going to talk about who could potentially replace him. And we're going to look at the big game this week in the Premier League, Liverpool versus Chelsea. So we're going to get the thoughts of the people on the show today. We've got both of them back after a long time. Aditya, Raghav, how are you guys?
Doing fine.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. The problem is that the gaming hasn't started yet.
How was the break for you? It's been a long time since we've been on the podcast.
It's actually a bit unusual because I'm used to like हर 4 दिन में आके यहाँ पे भाई ये week थोड़ा unusual लग रहा है भाई कुछ हुआ नहीं है.
What are you trying to say? You were bored coming every 4 days?
No, it was part of my routine kind of.
Part
like
of your
like
routine.
every 3 days we were like shoot we need to.
Klopp going, lots to discuss. Excited?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get started with it. So it was just a normal day going through Twitter, and there's Twitter erupts suddenly by just a video with nothing on it. It just is a message from Jurgen Klopp, and then we all think that it's Klopp being Klopp, a German manager trying to rally his fans and be like, let's go, let's push on. And then when you log into the video and when you hear it, it's like he's stepping down. And like I said, Twitter erupts totally. It comes totally out of the blue. I'll start with you. What did you make of it when you immediately heard it?
I'm quite surprised actually because it's not something anyone really expected. He had a contract till 26, I think.
25.
25. Yeah, so he had a contract till 25. And previously he's always said that he'll see it through. So I don't think anyone expected this to come out of that club right now because it's just a shock because there was a lot of noise, especially with Germany trying to get him. And even through that, he was like, no, I'm going to stay. And now all of a sudden he's dropped this bomb. He said that he told the club in November itself. But yeah, the fans came to know like last week and it's been quite mad since.
What do you make of it?
I think firstly, Appu is really happy from inside because a guy wearing a Germany jacket and saying that he's shocked about Jurgen Klopp. No, he's parting from inside because very shortly I think his next step is going to be the German national team. Although he says that for the next year he's not going to manage, but I am still. Yeah, I'm also surprised because nobody expected the announcement to come at a time when it came. Like it's like a normal day going through and like you're scrolling through and you see Fabrizio Romano, you see Liverpool, you see Premier League posting about these things and you're like, okay, what the hell just happened? And the message as well, it was really emotional from Klopp, the things he said about the fans, about the club and what he's feeling at that moment. So Yeah, I'm just nervous about the future of the Premier League.
Uh, Future of the Premier League we'll definitely talk about, but just to again ask you, like, what do you make of the timing of this announcement? Um, a little bit midway through the season, a little bit more later than that. What do you make of it? Will it rally Liverpool, or is this the right time to announce something that the manager is going?
So for me, it's the perfect time to announce it because as it's the midway point, it gives Liverpool plenty of time to assess and get the replacement in, whoever it is. Be like there are many candidates, so Liverpool gets the time to assess. Like okay, we have time till June, or May, just till May to get the replacement in, to get the new season rolling. Till Klopp is there, he's there. He'll do his job, and I feel that Liverpool will be. The second thing is Liverpool will be extra motivated to win the title this season so that they can give Klopp the perfect farewell he deserves.
You agree with that?
I mean, he told the club in November itself, and I'm sure the players must have been told, but
Apparently, the players had
were
no
not told.
idea. They had no
Van
idea.
Dijk
Van
came out
Dijk-
with a statement
No,
that he
but
didn't
then
know.
okay, so like it obviously works as a rallying call to the players. It's the last half season. It also acts as a very big rallying call for the fans, and I mean those fans have been. We've heard like a lot of people taking digs at them
Yeah.
about how they're not very vocal or not as loud as they used to be. This is like a massive rallying call for them to make every game at Anfield hell for whoever comes there. We're next. But yeah, I think I don't think he had any kind of ulterior motive in mind in announcing it right now. He probably just wanted to let the fans know in advance, but it might act as a very massive call for them to just get behind the team and for the team to really push extra to end the season.
He's cited reasons like he's lost energy. It's been 8-9 years at Liverpool. Obviously achieved a lot of things. He's won the title. He's won a Champions League. He's won the FA Cup. He's won basically the set.
Yeah.
Every trophy a manager could win. Raghav, what do you make of his tenure as a Liverpool boss?
Initially, I thought that it's gonna be another one of those Liverpool managers who will come in 1.5 years, 2 years, and he'll be gone. Because at the start, he really struggled. Of course, with that Liverpool team, anybody would struggle. But kudos to the management to stick behind Klopp, back him in the transfer market, and let him show the results. And that, I mean, as a manager, he's fantastic. He's a really good coach. He can turn players. He's a really good coach, and he can turn mediocre players into really good players.
Yes.
And you can see that with the players that he's coached. He's like, when Salah came in, nobody knew who Salah was. He was at Roma or Fiorentina.
Yeah, but he was at Roma.
Roma, right?
He was
Roma.
performing well, but then
but he was not at the level of stardom that he is at today.
Yeah.
So he came.
it was a punt. It was a risk.
Yeah, it was a punt
because he had
So-
already failed at Chelsea
Exactly.
before. Yeah.
So for Klopp to make him
sorry.
succeed. So for Klopp to make him succeed in the Premier League is one of his biggest success stories, and that the midfield with which he won the Champions League and the Premier League to back-to-back seasons, the Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho, and with Milner chipping in with those. So if you see the resources that he had to work with, they were really limited.
Yeah.
He didn't have a Pep-like midfield. That he was not blessed with god-like players.
But he was blessed with some really
He was
good.
blessed with characters.
No, but he was also blessed with good people on top.
exactly.
The structure around him was very
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was given really good players at pivotal positions. He was given a really good goalkeeper. He was given a leader in defense with Van Dijk. He was given a really good winger, and he had really good squad players as well. Mane, Firmino, who would really gel into the system that he would play, and yeah, that really worked in his favor. That he had strong characters in his team, no ego whatsoever. All were one unit whenever they played. So that really worked, and he just showed his quality as a coach.
What do you have to make about his achievements, whatever, as a manager, as just the way also he coached, the philosophy of football that he preached. what will the Premier League be missing with Klopp going?
I mean, he describes his football as heavy metal football, and it's a dying breed of like tactics. You see a lot of newer managers transitioning into like playing in a more like the Spanish Dutch ideologies of possession, and it's less with more short passing. And I mean, we'll get more into this, I guess, if when we are discussing potential replacements for Klopp. But as a manager, what he's achieved at Liverpool is nothing short of phenomenal, because the squad he inherited is, I mean, like you often see those posts on like a lot of football pages where you compare the first side that he put out,
Coach.
and it is unrecognizable. And the way he's transformed that team with, I also must add that he's done a lot more with a lot less, because you see the teams he's challenged, which is mainly City. He's pushed them to within like they've finished second by 1 point twice,
Yeah.
and he's won the title of them once, and he's won the Champions League before City did, spending their millions, and he's done that with
Without 115 charges.
exactly. I was going to say 100 million signings, but sure,
Yeah.
that also works. But yeah, like their big signings were what Alisson, Van Dijk, and now lately Nunez. But apart from that, you wouldn't say like oh, he's splurged a massive amount of money on a particular player. He's really worked well with what he's got, and as Raghav said, that midfield, like you just have to look at that midfield, because it's such a workman-like midfield. You don't really, for a long period, they didn't have much creativity in that midfield. So a lot of their build-up came from like the fullbacks and the wingers and Firmino dropping in. But it's just amazing to see what he's done. Like I don't think anyone expected him to do this good a job with Liverpool. And as I mean, I think most neutrals would be rooting for them to win it this season.
I think in the past 2 years or past 2 or 3 years after winning the PL title, the signings have also helped, because they've been shrewd in the transfer market, bringing in Jota, and then later
Luis Diaz and
Gakpo, and all these McAllister. So all these signings have been really shrewd, and they've been smart with their signings, while trying to bring in Klopp-like players, like the players that Klopp wants. So yeah, kudos to the management as well, but Klopp, of course.
We'll come to, like you said, bringing players in, right? We'll come to that. I just want to quickly ask you the basic question. He said no management jobs for the next year, which easily lines up with what we are all thinking that's going to happen. He said he said no Premier League team ever, even if there's no food on his plate, which I think that will be the case. What next for Klopp? It surely has to be the German job, right?
Yeah, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but it has to be, like, surely now it's going to be that. And I'm like Hans-Joachim Watzke, he's the Dortmund CEO. I think he's just stepped down, or he's going to step down. He's part of the DFB, and he's like an integral part of the DFB, and they've been really huge admirers of Klopp, and everyone in Germany is a huge admirer of his style of football, because I mean, given the German national team situation right now, there is a call for like that kind of German characters, and the hard running, the pressing, the heavy metal football, basically, for that to return, because we've had a lot of technical players of late. So I think surely now he's going to coach the national team, because he's the one guy everyone in Germany wants.
And basically, I think Germany also needs a coach who's more of a man manager. I think that's why Germany are struggling as a country a little bit, considering where they were 3 to 4 years back.
Yeah, that among other things. But yes, I mean, the Amazon documentary on the World Cup was quite revealing. Hansi Flick did not have a good command of that squad.
And it's a pretty young crop of players as well, which I think Klopp will bond with fantastically.
It's kind of like we're getting to that stage where it's kind of like you have these older guys with like Neuer, Muller, like
Rudiger.
Rudiger's getting there.
Getting there,
Gundogan?
yeah.
Gundogan's there. Fulkrug is there, and like these guys are older, but like they'll slowly start
You
being
need the next wave to come through.
exactly. And yeah, you're right. Klopp's really good at like building those players, and he's a really good man manager, which I forgot to mention in your previous question. He's really good at getting the most out of these players. And I think he'd do a really good job. That said he's not going to take any coaching jobs for the next few months. And I think Germany will be willing to wait a bit.
He said a year.
A year. Yeah, so what? Like a year since May?
Since when he announced
Okay,
it.
yeah. Then I think I don't think Germany would be too...
It depends actually on how... We are not definitely going to take his word to the T, but
yeah, of course.
we can definitely say that if Germany falter miserably in the Euros, then I think they will kind of persuade him to take it earlier, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, Nagelsmann's contract is up at the end of the year. Like, he's only signed till the end of the Euros anyway. So, anyway, after the Euros, Germany don't have a coach. I'm sure they'll come to some kind of arrangement. Might appoint an interim with Klopp just advising for a bit till he, like, recharges batteries and, like, he can take over full time in 25. So, I'm hoping that it happens. I won't, like I said, I don't want to be too presumptuous. I don't want to celebrate too early. But I would really love to see it, and I think that is the only step that's remaining for him. Because I don't see him taking a Bayern or something after his Dortmund.
Yeah. I think since he says that it's energy which is the issue.
Yeah. National teams would help with
National
that
teams
as well.
would be a little bit more
it's not as
chilled
intensive.
and eased back. And I think with when you mention his tactics as well, which is a dying breed of tactics. Because some coaches, they kind of... In club football, you need to evolve. And I think maybe like Klopp getting into international football, where it's a little bit less intense. The tactics are a little bit slower. The game is a little bit, not that... It's not evolving that crazily, right? I think it makes much sense for Klopp to just go in there and...
Because like there's no real space for tactics to evolve in international football, because they don't really have the players for that long to like set those patterns of play and stuff. Because like you get them for like a week, maybe 10 days at most, and then they're gone again for the next 2 months. It's kind of perfect for his lack of like his energy running out, because he won't have to be on the training pitch 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week and drilling his players every single time. So I think it's the perfect opportunity for him to take this up. I'm hoping he does.
And celebrating a goal once every 3 months also helps.
Yeah.
Running down the touchline at
much
90
lesser.
plus 3.
Hamstrings don't
Hamstrings will
break.
be
Anyway, just coming back to Liverpool, it's definitely going to be a huge transition for them with a manager leaving after 9 years. We've seen Sir Alex with United. We've seen Wenger with Arsenal. When you have a same ideology at a club for like so many years, there tends to be a phase post this that's going to be it's going to be transition for Liverpool. And with Klopp, for me, leaving at this phase where I think that this was the next cycle he was building. So what I thought this, for me, on a personal note, I thought he would stay for another year to kind of at least do a little bit more building to this Liverpool team, because I think they are struggling defensively a little bit. They need a little bit freshness in the defense. They need a little bit freshness in the attack as well. So I thought maybe Klopp would stay another year just to see this add a little bit solidity to the team in general. What do you make of Liverpool as a team? And it's not only Klopp who's leaving, it's the entire back room, and it's who's
Director.
the guy it's one of the German directors who was with him as well.
Schmatzke something.
I think so. One of the who was pretty influential.
Yeah, he was influential.
Where does this leave Liverpool? Because surely this is now an invitation for the likes of United, for the likes of Spurs, Chelsea as well, to next season. It's a spot which is now open.
Yeah,
definitely, right?
So it could go either way, because whoever Liverpool bring in, it's tricky for him to just hit the ground running, because it's not easy to change philosophies.
Yeah.
You can't change the way Klopp used to play Klopp is playing, that he'll play till the end of the season. You can't change it within 2 months with one pre-season, and with the players that he will inherit. And in attack, I think they're pretty sorted in attack. Maybe they need a replacement for Salah. That's one
Like
area
an
that they need.
understudy.
Yeah,
Or maybe if Salah leaves for Saudi.
exactly.
Because
so
Van Dijk has said that he doesn't know what's going to happen with his future as well.
because that's what I was going to come to. Because in defense and in attack, they need some. They need in attack also they're sorted, but in defense they need some cover because Matip is not is injury prone. Konate is okay-ish. Van Dijk is unsure of his future. They're the only two people that are sure of the future are the fullbacks. They're pivotal.
Robertson's not getting younger.
Yeah, Robertson's. Yeah, and Trent. You never know if he'll fit the new manager system. The way that Trent operates, you never know if he's gonna fit into the system that the new manager is coming in. So if he doesn't fit into the system, what happens to Trent? What happens to Robertson? What happens to the whole team? So for me, the only players that are secure with the new manager coming in are Alisson and the front line and the midfield, and some of the midfielders because
Thiago's going for sure. Thiago's
Alcantara's leaving.
like he's
Curtis Jones, you don't know what will happen to him. Maybe McAllister, Soboslai, and
Gravenberch.
Gravenberch. I think these three players are safe. Like you can depend on them. Curtis Jones, you don't know with the new manager coming in, but
So basically, it's
I think it's gonna take at least 2 or 3 seasons for them to,
because they have to build from scratch as well.
Of course
And
they have to.
not only
And
also Aditya, not only it's the manager who comes in, it also depends on the structure they appoint over him.
Yeah.
Because nowadays at clubs, it's not only the manager that is entrusted with everything. You have a whole structure over the manager. You have a recruitment team. You have a director of football. So surely Liverpool will also be not only looking at the manager, but will be looking at establishing a structure that can complement the manager.
Yes.
So
That's
how do
really
they?
important,
Do you think that that's going to put them in a transition phase that other teams can kind of go looking at this, being like, yeah, we can now. There's a hole out there. What do you make of it?
I think yeah, there is, like, it will take a bit because I mean it will also come down to style of play, because this kind of style of play cannot be, like, no real top manager, like none of the candidates really fit the same style of play. So in that sense, that's a rebuild. And also, as you said, you need to find that a director of football, and the higher guys need to work together with the manager, and that relation has to be good. So yeah, I don't think it'll take like 2-3 seasons, as he said, just because they do have a lot of young players right now. They don't really need to do a full rebuild. There's just a revamp of tactical ideology, and like a few positions they need to get sorted fairly quickly. But for a while, there will be at least for one season, I feel like there will be a bit of a gap
Transition.
there. Yeah, exactly. And like you have clubs, like the Premier League's gotten a lot more competitive now. You have these Brightons, Newcastle, Aston Villa. I mean, I know Brighton and Newcastle have slipped. Aston Villa are in the top 4 right now. Spurs are again hot on the heels. Hopefully, Chelsea, United will get there.
Because United's building from scratch as well.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. And
So
even we are building from
you
scratch.
don't know what's going to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Over
So
there as well. Yeah.
probably, well, like that top 6 picture is a lot more competitive
It's
than it
open
used
now.
to be. Yeah, so it's Liverpool might or can potentially lose out big time in the sense they might like drop out of Europe even. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a hole to be exploited for sure.
So with that saying, there are names floated about, a lot of names.
Yeah.
You have Xabi Alonso, obviously, who's the favorite.
Yeah.
You have the likes of De Zerbi at Brighton. And my pick would definitely be Steven Gerrard. I think he'd do a fantastic job at Anfield. I think he's doing wonders at the Saudi club he is at. Amazing footballing IQ.
it's
brain.
not
I
a
think,
ittefaq.
yeah, I think it, for me, it should be a no-brainer. It has to be Steven
of
Gerrard.
course.
That's my view.
I'm amazed that you said that with a straight face. I'm amazed that you were able to keep a straight face through all
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
Yeah, tried my best. Who do you think should replace Klopp?
I think the favorite is probably Xabi Alonso because, like, the whole Liverpool links, and he's really up and coming. And a lot of clubs are looking at him. Like, you've heard of Madrid looking at him. Even City are keeping tabs apparently because Pep's leaving after the next season. He's really smart. There's a really good athletic piece actually about how the style of play is quite different, but I don't
He
think
could make it work with the personnel.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I could see him playing that back three with Trent as a wing back.
Yeah.
I think I've always felt like Trent's best position is probably, it's not like right back, it's more right wing back or maybe central midfield. And he can definitely make it work. And he's young, and like these things evolve, and he can pick those up more than say like an older manager who's like set in his ways. So I think he has to be the favorite. But another younger guy who will be on the market is Nagelsmann.
Okay.
And
That's a good shout.
I would not rule that out because he's, again, like if you want a rebuild, he's really not I know his stock fell a fair bit after Bayern, but like a lot of Bayern players have also come out saying no, he did not lose the dressing room. It had more to do with stuff above him than the relation between him and the players. So I would not rule out Nagelsmann being the next Liverpool manager because he's also quite good at rebuild. He's a very young manager. In fact, he's younger than Alonso is, and
but then I think the timeline won't align.
No, he's
the
free.
appointment.
After the Euros, he's free.
Yeah, but wouldn't Liverpool want someone to be coming in straight before
That's
the
also
transfer
true,
window?
actually. That's actually true, and like he might not be able to give any kind of focus on Liverpool, but I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out just because if you want a project manager, he's as good as any out there. And like I know De Zerbi is also there, but
Or maybe Liverpool set up a recruitment structure.
yeah, exactly.
And they maybe because recruitment structures work like that, they want the manager basically to coach the team,
Yeah,
and we'll get you the players and you coach the team.
Yeah, they
so
can
it
discuss
also
that right
depends.
now.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
like
that could be a way that
there's
they
a
could
good
work.
period right now between now and like I think March is the next international break, and like they've known since November, so they've probably started looking since November and being in touch with these people just to like they've probably put their feelers out, they've done their analysis, they'll have a short list, and I'm sure whatever's happening behind the scenes, we obviously know a lot less about what's happening. I'm sure they'll have vetted a lot of people already, and like you said, they can probably do that. Nagelsmann's got a lot of time on his hands right now. His main concern is obviously the Euros in Germany in the summer. That's when he'll be really busy after like May. But in the meantime, he has time to like communicate with people and set up a kind of like a sort of recruitment thing, which can work in his absence. He can just tell them what is he envisions and what kind of players he wants in these positions. It can work. So I think like Xabi Alonso probably the favorite, but I wouldn't rule out Nagelsmann.
De Zerbi, Alonso.
It's a no-brainer,
Nagelsmann.
man. I mean, it's gonna be Roy Hodgson.
You're one up.
It's gotta be Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be Roy Hodgson.
Like, you never know.
Part
man.
2.
Legend. Yeah, part 2.
Let's go. The reunion. Get
Roy Hodgson
get
returns.
Tompkins back. Tompkins to replace Van Dijk.
Yes.
Perfect captain material. But in all
Perfect
seriousness,
leader.
who do you think should it be?
I'm
Who wouldn't you want as a United fan to manage that club?
Zinedine Zidane.
That's
Okay.
I wouldn't want Zidane to go to Liverpool
I
because
don't think Zidane is joining any English club though.
you never know because
yeah.
I mean in the current market, if you look at the summer transfer window,
A lot of teams might be looking at managers though. We might
Many
be
te-
looking for a manager.
don't say that. Let's
You
not go
might
there.
be. You might be.
Yeah,
We'll
we
come
might
to
be,
that.
but
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
want to
come
go
to that,
there.
yeah.
I don't want
We
to go
will
there
be going
because
I
there.
really believe, I feel so.
let's see. But as a United fan, if I see that Zidane is going to Liverpool, I wouldn't be as afraid of De Zerbi because of the difference in the philosophies that both have.
Mm.
Klopp and De Zerbi play.
You're saying it will take more
It'll
time
take
for
more
De
time for
Zerbi
De Zerbi to
adapt, and by that
adapt
time
to-
our clubs will go ahead.
Exactly.
Okay.
No,
fair
but
enough.
Alonso and De Zerbi are fairly similar. Like, so again, part of this is into like the athletic piece as well. I
Mm.
got like a fair bit of this, but I've been watching Bayer play as well. And the way Liverpool play is like they have a lot of these long balls,
Yeah.
kind of, they have these long, huge diagonals and stuff. Bayer Leverkusen are one of the best short passing teams I've seen in recent times, and um, like they make the most short passes of any team in Europe at this point.
Mm.
That's the stat for them. So it's a vast difference. Like whoever's going to come in, it's going to be. I don't think any and Liverpool are a big club right now, and I don't think any top manager really can mimic Klopp style. It is always going to be a transition into that kind of
No,
De
but,
Zerbi, Alonso. way.
I have that feeling that Zidane will take lesser time than De Zerbi and Alonso to transition that team into what he wants, because what he did at Real Madrid was
In a quick
You-
space of
in a
time
quick
to
space of
get
time.
success.
he came in mid-season. He won them the Champions League.
Mm.
Like, who does that? So
Tuchel, Di Matteo.
yeah, cool.
Tuchel might be available actually.
Oh yeah, could
He,
be.
he could be free at the end of the summer.
Xavi is available. Like the market is crazy because
Yeah.
There's
Xavi is available.
another dark horse is the Girona manager Miguel.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
He could be available as
guys,
well.
we're forgetting
And
the main guy,
who?
Jose Mourinho.
Mourinho at Liverpool. That is another guy who I would
he'll
love.
complete the top 6. Like he'll go to every top 6 club.
Yeah,
United
no.
हो गया, Chelsea हो गया,
हाँ.
Spurs हो गया,
City,
Liverpool.
City,
City-
will,
City और ये बचा रहेगा Arsenal.
City is
नहीं, Arsenal
never
top
going to
six.
take him.
Arsenal जाएगा भी नहीं. अच्छा. So I think we've covered Liverpool in it was a massive news coming out, and surely for us, I was actually, when I look at it in a whole, I was pretty happy as a United fan that finally, Liverpool and United kind of now start the next season, from
Same level.
the same level. Not from the same level. I think Liverpool are a little higher because of the disciplined players that they have. And it's a perfect segue to get into our players who apparently want to party one day before training in a totally different country. We're talking about the one Mr. Marcus Rashford,
MBE.
MBE. So just for our viewers who don't know the chain of events, United had 4 days off before a training session that was supposed to happen on
Friday.
on Friday. Yes, on Friday. Wednesday, he was spotted at a club. That was fine. It was an off day, so you can do whatever you want, right? Then there were rumors going around that he was out clubbing on Thursday as well. And in the late hours of Thursday, Friday early morning, there's a training session. So then on Friday, rumors, they say that no, he was not out. Like, that was the images from Thursday.
Yeah.
Then it comes out that Rashford has reported ill for training. And then the bomb breaks where Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic straight away posted out saying that we have credible sources citing that he was out partying on Thursday. And United a day earlier said, and they put it out saying that we don't know the exact thing, but we believe that it was on Wednesday, it was not on Thursday, so he's fine. So he was definitely not in the squad for the FA Cup game. He's been fined 2 weeks' wages, which is, I think this should be a record fine because it's 350 grand a week. So for 2 weeks, 700 grand. Definitely this has to be a record fine in the Premier League because no responsible player who earns that much of a wage will do something like what he's done. What do you make of it as a United fan as to what Rashford did?
It's not something you expect from your main players, because if you look at other clubs, you look at
The top earners
the
at
top,
other club.
the top owners at a club. You look at Van Dijk, you look at Alisson, you just take Liverpool for example. Like, the top leaders of the club, they lead by example.
Hmm.
Like you see even if you see their interviews and their performances on the pitch and off the pitch, their conduct, you never see Alisson in the news. You never see Van Dijk in the news. You don't see that they're
Salah
out
in the news.
partying
Yeah.
like 2 days before training. Like you'll never see them on social media like flaunting or something, or like
And
you're running-
especially at a time when you're not performing.
exactly.
Yeah.
And your club is down and out. They're down and out in 8th place. They're not performing well. The manager is under pressure, and you go out and pull off such a stunt. It's highly irresponsible from him, and the fine was seriously deserved. He really deserved it, and I think it sets an example, and which was required. But one thing that I know for sure is that he's responded to these before as well. Last season, something similar happened. He reported late to a meeting before the Wolves game. He was dropped to the bench. He came out to the bench and he scored the winner in that game. So I can see him coming back from this, because the matter has been dealt internally and he's available for selection now. So I think Ten Hag and United have dealt with the situation, and Rashford has apologized for whatever's happened, and he's taken responsibility, which is a good thing. And he's accepted the fine, and if he's available for selection again, and if the perfect response for me would be that he comes on in the next game and he gives his best and he performs well. That would be the perfect response to such an incident, to show that whatever happens off the pitch, whenever I'm selected for the team, I will give my best. I will give my 100%.
But he's not been given 100%. Like, as a neutral, when you watch a United game, you've been pretty critical
Yeah.
of him, considering where he was last season, where
Exactly.
everything he touched turned to
Goals.
It's very disappointing, considering how Ten Hag has already been fighting so many fires. For someone like him, who is the top owner, to do something like that, it surely is not responsible, right?
Yeah, it's not even his first like kind of strike, because as he said, there was the team meeting incident, and then he was seen partying after the Derby loss,
City derby, yes.
earlier this season, and you wouldn't expect that from like the top players at a club, and it is really irresponsible from him, given one, how the managers are under so much pressure. And also, you've just had the Sancho incident, and you've had the Ronaldo incident last season, where these are high-profile cases of of someone undermining a manager's authority, and getting into business for themselves, basically. And he's had to deal with all of that, and fight against people who should be part of that organization under him. That said, Rashford seems to be on board for the most part, and I think is fairly reflective in Ten Hag's comments about him, because he's like, every time Ten Hag's like, he's been like, it's an internal matter and we've dealt with it internally. So it does show that Rashford, like obviously is indisciplined, but he's showing stuff that the manager likes, and like he's showing the adequate remorse that apparently Sancho did not. And so he's still in the manager's good books, and as long as he can turn it around, I don't think it will be an issue long term. But it's a bigger story, considering how United have been faltering, and also how he's been massively disappointing, considering what he gave last season. And he's got 4 goals only this season, in all competitions, and that's a really appalling start for someone who should be getting a lot more.
You remember in one of these episodes when we sat over here, I said, with Ineos coming in and Ineos saying that we are here to take the tough decisions, right? And I remember making a statement that what I want to see from Ineos is you make a big statement, right?
Yeah.
You sell a key player. You sell someone that makes the whole squad go, wow. And at that time, you knew who I was hinting at. And I am not, scared to say it, that I don't care if he's sold. Because why should the club always take the easier route out and sack the manager? Why should sacking a manager is easy, right? Why isn't the same, pressure put on Rashford? Why? Because he is Mancunian, because he comes from the academy. I think he should surely take more responsibility over here, because what he's done at this time and at this period with so much going around the club is not acceptable for me. Is not. And I don't want a player at my club who's earning 350 grand, whatever, to be someone like what he is at the moment during a transition phase. Because it's one time I can understand, two times I can understand, but three times it just doesn't make sense. And people have a problem if the manager's too disciplined. They're like, oh, the manager's too disciplined, right? And if the manager's not too disciplined, players end up going and doing stuff like that, which I don't see boding well for someone who's potentially might come in the future as well. Because if a player on 350 grand can first of all not be consistent, right? And if you're not consistent, you bloody need to turn up at training. You need to perform. You need to be up there with the team, fighting with the team, right? Rather than do this after just scoring one goal in 10 games. You need to score 10 goals and then do something like that. This doesn't shut us up. And what he has done is not only an insult to the manager, but it's an insult to us as the fans, right? Because when players don't perform on the field, they are not only insulting the manager, they are insulting the fans as well, because it's we who buy the merch, right? It's we who subscribe to Sony or Star. We pay the money, and that's how they get the money through broadcast deals and whatever. And what I felt it was an insult to the fans. And if he cannot be consistent, with his own life, and if he has stuff going around, and if he's not happy, and if he does not in some way like the project, just leave, go. Right? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with change. If you want to do change, it should, in short, in general, what I want to say, if you want to resort to change, it should not only be with the manager. It should be with the biggest of players. And I think the club should be, and the new management should be authoritative in saying that I don't care if you're from the academy. I don't care if you're Manchester United's number 10. I don't care if you have an MBE. If you are not performing for this club, players have died for this club. They've literally died on an airplane for this club. And if you cannot understand what this club is built on, what this club means, then don't play for the club. And I don't care what happens with him from now to the end of the season. If he cannot perform, if he cannot not show why he's worth 350 grand, I think he should definitely be sold. That's my take on it. Do you want to add something to it quickly?
Yeah, but no, I don't feel that he should be sold, because when has Rashford had this partying incident? Like, last season he was late to a meeting.
Yeah.
He had repercussions. Apart from that, I've not seen an incident where he was out partying 2 days before a game or training, and he's not been disciplined in training or games.
Yeah, but at that time he was not earning 350 grand a week, no? When players get 350 grand a week, then anything can change, no?
Yeah, it can change, but my thing is that he's been disciplined so far. Till date, before he was earning 350 grand a week, he was disciplined, and now it's been one incident. So I just feel that if it's happened once and he's taken responsibility for what he's done and he's accepted the punishment that he's getting, and he wants to get back and he wants to show that I am good enough, I feel that the manager is right in giving a chance. Like, okay, you get a chance till the end of the season. Show me why you're worth 350 grand. Like you said, if you're worth 350 grand a week, show it on the football pitch for what you're paid, for what you're paid to do. So if he performs on the football pitch till the end of the season, I think all will be forgiven in a blink of an eye. So I don't know what the decision that will be taken by Ineos, but I feel that Rashford will hit the levels that is expected, because he's a really good player, and this is the first such big level incident that has happened with him, and he should get a chance to prove their haters wrong, like prove the critics wrong.
We'll have to see what happens with him. But we'll quickly move forward to. We have a match. We have a game week starting today at the time of recording, and the biggest game this week is Liverpool versus Chelsea. Liverpool flying, especially flying high. Amazing record at Anfield. They've been, and now with the additional boost of, every home game is like a final for them with Klopp leaving. Just quickly, what do you make of Chelsea's chances, and what do you make of the game in general?
I mean, it's going to be a draw, isn't it?
It's going
Because
to be a draw.
it's literally the past 7 results after normal time have been draws of some sort. But yeah, Liverpool are in very good form. We've been up and down. I mean, we put 6 past Middlesbrough and then somehow couldn't take our chances at Villa. Maybe the fatigue from we played within the space of 3 days, those 2 games, and that kind of did not help us later in the game when Villa started coming back at us. We lost all sort of energy. That said, we've got 2 days more rest than Liverpool have. That could be a big factor in this game. As you said, the Anfield crowd is going to be up in arms because every game is a final. It is like every game's a must win, so that they get to they win the Premier League basically, and it's going to be a massive challenge for us to go there and get something out of that game. I think we're definitely capable, and throughout this season, Chelsea have been better against teams that actually come at us as opposed to sitting back and making us break them down. So I do believe we can get something out of it. Obviously, there's no denying the massive mountain that is there to climb, but I think we can get something out of it. Yeah.
What do you make of it quickly?
About Liverpool's chance or Chelsea's chances?
Game in general.
Liverpool's gonna win this. First of all, it's Anfield. It's the first Premier League home game after Klopp's announcement. Liverpool are in good form right now because even without Salah,
undefeated at home.
Exactly. Even without Salah, they're clicking. The front line seems to be clicking. The Gakpos, the Nunez's, the Jotas, they're showing their quality and they're showing that they're worth what they were paid for. And the midfield seems to be clicking now with Szoboszlai, with Gravenberg. Gravenberg scored his first goal for Liverpool against Norwich. And McAllister is showing the class that he showed at Brighton. And I think Liverpool will be too strong for Chelsea.
All of the last 7 consecutive games between these two sides
I think
have
this breaks
ended in
it.
a draw.
This breaks that.
This breaks it.
For me, it breaks it and it's a Liverpool win.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting battle to watch because you used to keep saying that Chelsea relatively perform well against teams that are attacking them.
Yeah.
So especially when Chelsea are at their worst when they're trying to break teams down.
Yep.
Do you think who do you think could be the decisive factor for Chelsea if Chelsea have to pull this out? What do you think Chelsea will need to do at Anfield to get something out of this game?
I know,
what would you want Chelsea to do?
What would I want Chelsea to do? I think just play brave football and be more decisive, basically, because there's no point in fearing Liverpool and being we've got to sit back. Because I think in a way we did that in the first few minutes of the Spurs game, where Spurs came all out and we kind of lost our footing before they lost their heads collectively. It's very important that we're decisive, and obviously taking chances has to be the number one priority, because that's the one thing we've lacked pretty much all season. We just struggle to score goals. We create a lot of chances, but we struggle to score goals. So we really need to do that. As for key player, I know Cole Palmer is the name that's on a lot of people's lips, but I'm actually going to say Ben Chilwell, because Chilwell coming back. Yeah, he's back. He played against Borough for 60-65 minutes or something. He's still regaining fitness, but you could just see the difference when both of these guys, Reece James and Ben Chilwell, are out. We look like a totally different team in attack. And Chilwell was there in the first game, and he got an assist for the Disasi goal, and he was marginally offside just like 5 minutes after that when he put the ball in the back of the net. And he's really crucial for us going forward. He's a very energetic player. He can go up and down that left wing. He's very smart. He's technically very good. And I think Chilwell playing will give us a huge boost. Obviously, Palmer's our main man right now, but I think Chilwell can make a big difference.
So yeah, with that, we've come to the end of the show. We'll definitely be talking more about this game in our next episode. And since the games are that closely packed together, in our next episode we'll be summarizing both the game weeks, the matches that are happening midweek as well as on the weekend. So stay tuned to the videos we have coming down the line on our channel. Do the usual drill, like, subscribe, and share our videos if you like them. Let us know if you have anything to add, or if you have any comments to counter what we have been speaking about. Jot them out in the comments below. And yeah, with that, we'll take your leave and we'll catch you in the next one.